Introduce us to Damian when we think about people. So, Damian, maybe you can tell us a bit about your background. Damian's our CTO, and what brought you to All Rights and RightStream.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ben. Hello, everyone. Yeah, look, a bit about myself, I guess, is look, I've been in the film and TV industry for around 25 years. So I've worked on both the creative side and also on the technical side. I've worked for Seven Australia, National Geographic Channel in Asia. I've worked and lived in Hong Kong, throughout Asia with Fox. So apart from being, I guess, in the creative industry, I've also founded several tech startups in film and TV. So traditional technical areas, but also a few projects around the blockchain, especially with IPFS. So that's a little bit about background about myself.
Cool. Go
Uh,
on. That's right. Yeah, oh, sorry, I was checking you finished. Okay. And another one of the questions has got quite a lot of votes. Mohammed Farhan, you've got three questions here. There's about 20 votes on one part and 20 on the other. So um, we'll start with the security, safety, which is a brilliant one because there's obviously a lot of problems in crypto. How do you ensure the safety of your platform, Damien?
um, yeah, I guess, I mean, if we talk around, if we're talking around content that's on the platform, I guess from a safety point of view, I mean, all content that comes to the platform is vetted. So we do have several top industry people as part of the team that will vet content, make sure it's safe for the community, and then over time, we'll move to more of a partial or hybrid DAO. I think if we're talking about user security, and security around smart contracts, etc., obviously we're blockchain based Web3, so there is inherent security around that. We also are using a development company based in Australia, who have probably one of the best development companies I'd say in Australia around Web3, around crypto, and they've got a very good track record, especially around fintech. So yeah, look, I think we're doing all the right things to make sure the platform is safe and secure as possible.
What about the security audit that you recently passed? What can you tell the
Yep.
community about that one and how it might be different from others or this particular standard that
Yeah.
it is?
No, that's a great question. So again, we're using a top tier, I guess, crypto smart contract auditing company, and we have some great advisors on our team who have launched very significant projects on the blockchain, and they have used them before, and they have been recommended by them. So every smart contract that we produce, not just from token generation, which is the one that's showing as being audited, but all of our vesting contracts, and even as we proceed down to releasing NFTs and various other parts of the platform, every single smart contract will be audited, and that will be published for the community to see.
Well, is there any other things in the pipeline to increase the security or any consideration? It's kind of a follow on
Well,
question.
yeah, sure. I guess again, it's blockchain, it's Web3, so there is inherent security around that. There's great standards as far as smart contract auditing. So yeah, look, I think again, if we're talking about content security, we've got systems in place for that. I've been personally involved in video DRM for around 12 years, so we have a lot of things in place, and we'll continue to look at look at better ways that we can ramp up as our security as we grow.
Cool. And the last one, Mohammed, I'll let him have all his free questions. So he talks about community support being a key catalyst. Obviously, I've been managing a lot of the community, so I can discuss this a little bit as well. Most projects have social programs that interact with their users. Do you have any important plans to attract and expand the community outreach and improve users' experience? I'll let you start with that one, and then I'll jump in, Damian.
Yeah, no, sure. And I mean, fortunately, we have a great community manager, Ben, on our team. And look, and I think you know, creating a great platform, part of that comes from not just our vision, but also the community's vision, and what the community wants. So, look, we value all the feedback on the platform from the community. We are looking to obviously release what we're doing publicly, shortly after TGE. But we have view to earn to rate content, which rewards people and also the community. But I think we'll expand that out so there's more touch points on the platform where the general community can get involved and be part of that process. So
Yeah, cool.
any great ideas, keep telling us.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, we've obviously ran some competitions. It's been incredibly busy the last couple of months with the IDOs and so forth. And now we can really start focusing more on community suggestions um, and listening more to the community. So do keep that in mind, Mohammed. If you have suggestions as well, we can really start to focus on that more. We have our listing next week, so the two main big goals of the last couple of months would have been finished, which was that IDO and the listing. And then I guess the other thing which is quite exciting for the community is the kryptonites, which may be people who've got ideas. Can you tell us a little bit about that? We released a video a couple of weeks ago. If you can tell us a bit about that, Damien.
Yeah, yeah. So again, I think I think Kryptonites is a way to help people bring their own projects to life. So they'll be able to apply to come on the show, and it's a little bit of a Shark Tank, and I think we want to be able to help promote. People have great ideas out there, so I think this will really also help the community bring those things to life. It's going to be very exciting.
Cool. Okay, and the next one had a lot of votes. Amelia Amel, if I've said that correctly. Just a few questions here. I'll start with the last one and see how long it goes before we move on to the other ones. So, what are your methods by which your project makes profit income, and what is its revenue model? How may it benefit both the investor and your project in the long run?
Yeah, so I guess because we have so many different aspects of the platform, there's obviously revenue from all of those coming to the platform to support it. So everything from the pay-per-view aspect of the platform, just like any, I guess, like any traditional video on demand business, the platform takes a fee. So we will be doing the same thing. Obviously we need to be able to run and manage the platform and the team around it. For our launchpad, the platform will take a percentage of the amount of content that is actually raised, and also then the same with NFTs. The same way that I guess anyone like OpenSea will take a fee to be on the platform, we will be doing the same thing. So I think from a platform point of view, that's how revenue is generated. I think for users that are part of the platform, if you've put up content that's being funded, obviously, that's how users or the project owners will make their revenue. If people are involved in those projects and you've bought NFTs, which is part of the projects, then those NFTs will hopefully go up in value, and that's where the community can earn out of being part of those projects.
Yeah, so investing also in a future movie that you believe in, basically.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you watch a series on TV and you think, wow, I wish they'd make another one. And the community gets behind it. You're all kind of in inverted commas, you're invested in it. And if that goes great, then everyone wins. The filmmaker and also the people that have I guess backed it.
Yeah. Another one from Amelia. Crypto people say the next boom will be on NFT after DeFi. Although I think we've already gone through the NFT boom. Um, do you agree with this? So the questions people say the next boom will be an NFT after DeFi. So I would say I would. That boom probably occurred a little bit already last year, and now we just need to see if we're going to get into an NFT winter. But it doesn't look like it, and there's so many more use cases to NFTs than what's when it started really booming last year. But the question is, after the DeFi, is NFT the next boom? Well, I would agree with that. What about yourself,
Yeah,
Damien?
look, I mean, I think NFTs were the good use, and I think there's been a lot of obviously action in the NFT market, and I guess just like anything that's boomed, people get excited about it, and there's a real big uplift on the action. But I think for us, we're looking at NFTs, we're looking at all these different things we're doing to have real world scenarios. So I think that's where it'll settle down, and the NFTs will really come into to their own.
You also asked what are the main plans for the project to build an NFT concept technology. I guess that's what we've probably already explained if it's movies, but if you want to elaborate more on any other NFT, you're going to be making
Yeah.
passes.
So I guess with the NFTs for us, for our platform, even just we're turning normal video content into an NFT. So it's got a unique owner, and revenue flows through that. So um, we already have that. I mean, the launchpad, the content will be NFTs. We'll also have celebrity NFTs that will be paired with content that's being launched on the launchpad. So people will be able to interact with content in many different ways via a traditional NFT, which could be some cool icon or element out of a film that they can invest in, but also um, the NFTs, which will actually be made up part of the funding of the film. So I think we're going to have lots of different opportunities over the next sort of coming months, and that'll play itself out.
Cool. And the next questions from Nika Hanse, if I've said that right, that's got about 16 votes on one emoji and 17 on the other. So I'll start with the top one because it is top one of our questions. Pump and dump schemes are becoming a major problem in the crypto space that needs solving. Investors' hard-earned money going down the drain. Well, just to add to that before I finish the question, if you sell, it's gone down the drain, but if you hold, you haven't lost anything yet. Could you please tell how RightStream will prevent whales from manipulating the price and ensure the price appreciates?
Yep. Sorry, did that just drop out? Am I still here? Um,
You're
yeah, yeah. Look, I think a big part of that is the way that we have built our tokenomics. So if everyone's had a look at our tokenomics, you can see that we have I guess long vesting schedules. So not just for for investors as well. So which I don't think is unique. I think now there's been a lot of previous projects with pump and dump and people dumping coins, and all this kind of stuff's happened. But again, we've had some great advisors. We've got advisors on our team which are ex Wall Street, so they really understand how to make sure this doesn't happen, and that's why we have put strong tokenomics in place to cover that.
Yeah, I guess, and also if you've been in crypto for a while and watched these things occur, if you believe in the project, then you just have to hold, and you haven't lost anything until you sell, sort of thing.
That's right.
Yes, yeah. So crypto editor who's actually in here now live listening, so that's nice. um, he had a couple of votes on his question, and a lot of people asked similar questions with no votes. So the general similarities here with his question and other people's was, what can we expect from Rightstream in the short and long term? And then people have asked, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, and also the goal of 2022. So let's just split that up and start with crypto editors. What's the short and long term? What can we expect from Rightstream in the short and long term?
Yeah, so I guess we're kind of talking about current and future developments. Would that be right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it doesn't describe that, but I imagine so, yeah, because there's a lot of people asking goals, what can we expect now and in the
yeah,
future?
yeah, sure. So look, we've been working on the platform now since 2021. So we'll be releasing the app not too long after the TGE. And that'll be around view to earn, around being able to watch content, having an actual right stream or a right token wallet. Then we'll be moving on to our launch pad where anyone can own a slice of a film or a TV show. And probably then the short term goal after that is celebrity NFTs. So look, we plan to have a lot of these things released on the app over the next 3 to 6 months. So that all the functions we're talking about are available on the app for the consumers to use. We've also signed up a few celebrities now, and over the next few weeks we'll be releasing those names. So there'll be some excitement around that, and also what sort of content they'll be bringing to the platform, what sort of NFTs that they will bring along with them, which would be pretty exciting. And I guess the longer term is that we expect the platform to be a complete ecosystem, really, where anyone can play a part in the inception of content production, right through to a consumer watching the content and voting it, where people can have as much or as little involvement as they like.
Well, yeah, I mean, another question, which is probably similar to the previous one, well, he said, how can an investor earn from this project? You probably explained that early on with various things, unless you want to add anything.
Yeah, I guess, if we're talking an investor, so someone that gets involved in our launchpad, then the success of that project will equal the return. So the great thing is that in some way, people that invest in productions that happen on the platform, also can have a hand in the success of that project by spreading it through the community and I guess helping to market it. They have an interest in making it successful.
Cool. Next one from Hussein MG. He had 6 votes on this question. Just seeing if I understand it correctly. Do you plan to add the other cinema to your project, and Rightstream will help everyone free to restrict? I don't fully understand this. I'm trying to help everyone free to restrict between the restrictions. I'm guessing that's talking about different cinemas or content. It's a bit confusing. I'll just say it out, Damian, and then you can see if we've kind
Yeah,
of understood it
yeah, I think
correctly. So do you plan to add other cinemas to your project, and Rightstream will help everyone free to restrict between? So there's going to be no restriction problems, and how you're going to tackle restrictions, maybe. Yeah.
yeah. Look, I think if you look at, I think I kind of understand this question. So we're kind of saying, look, we've got our own application. We're doing our own thing in the metaverse with cinema. We've actually partnered with our Planet Theatre at the moment, but we at the end of the day, we're also about content. So content that has been created on our launchpad isn't just available for Rightstream. So we anticipate that content will be sold to Netflix, to cinema chains around the world, to other cinemas in the metaverse. So we don't just want our content. We don't just want people to only be able to earn revenue from their content on the Rightstream ecosystem. That can be pushed out through other you know, through other ways of people actually being able to view that content. So we're going to aggregate it everywhere essentially.
So you've been providing content for many years before you got into the blockchain space. I'm just going to add on to this question. What Who were some of those people that you've been licensing content to, and for how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so All Rights has been around for around we've been probably operating over the last 3 years, and we're licensing content um, globally, and so we have I think one of the announcements we made recently was TCL. So we're actually licensing content to every essentially we have access to every single TCL television that is that's sold in the world. So as you can imagine, that's um, a huge set of eyeballs, essentially. And then we're also working with other, video on demand platforms globally, broadcasters. So look, we've got a fairly significant announcement around that, which hopefully over the next week we can release to the public. So yeah.
With regards to TCL, for those that didn't know, maybe so they manufacture TVs. What is the end user
Yep.
going to see then when they buy a TCL?
Yeah. So what TCL are doing, they're actually releasing their own. You buy a TV now, you've got the Netflix app. So basically, when you buy a TCL TV, you'll have a TCL TV app, and there'll be several live streaming channels. I believe they're starting off around 6 live streaming channels and a whole range of content that's video on demand. And a significant part of it will be free. So it'll be ad supported content.
Oh, those buttons basically, yeah, you see on the advert. Uh, oh, sorry, on your remote. Um, Another
Yeah.
question which may have been answered before. What is the number one goal of this project? I could say keep growing and take over. What 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 would you like to say on that one, Damien?
Yeah, look, I don't think anyone doesn't have a goal to, be number one in the world, be the largest, content aggregator. So look, we do have some significant goals. Um, we want to do great things for the community. We want a lot of community involvement, and yeah, I think it's a hard one, but yeah, we want to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
hugely
got to keep some of
successful.
these goals. Got to keep these in the strategy, and not everything can be divulged as well, I guess. The
No,
next
that's right.
question is from Eoma, and it's had 4 votes. There's a couple of questions here, and it's about the metaverse. Um, well, I'm just going to jump to the second part and go back to the type of growth. So, how much growth do you aim for after the metaverse? I'm assuming because we're not really developed so much, nobody is in the metaverse yet at the moment. But when you talk about growth, in my experience personally, I went to some of these online NFT and festivals in Decentraland and the Sandbox. And one thing that amazed me when people talk about growth is, you can go to a concert in, say, Madison Square Gardens, and you can only fit 20,000 people in there. And if you look at the Decentraland Land Festival, that had sort of 50,000. So the size of the audience and the people from all over the world that can see your brand, see your movie, and really get exposure is just on a whole other level in the metaverse, which is what really amazes me. I don't know how you want to also add to that, Damien.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is a great question, and I think sometimes we have to sit back and think about what the metaverse really is. And um, if we look in the film and TV arena, it's a little bit the same from when we went to only being able to see movies in a cinema to being able to um, rent a movie at home on Apple TV. So again, cinemas were restricted by how big the cinema was, and people had to get there. And now Apple TV can have um, 100 million people watch a movie at once. So really, it's gone to a level where there is no restriction on the amount of people that can attend something. And I think with the metaverse and cinema, it's a very similar thing. It's basically um, it's just an extension of essentially video on demand. So where people are sitting at home watching TV streaming on devices, the metaverse is very similar. It's just got the extra level of interaction that you can have,
Yeah,
which I think
so
obviously through COVID has been really interesting. Obviously people are been stuck at home, etc. So I think that's probably why the metaverse is a lot of people are interested in it because you can have that interaction.
the growth has been huge. Yeah.
Yeah,
Another question about earning again, and I think it's good to clarify it as
yeah,
well. Vinod, so with streaming on the right stream platform, how am I going to earn um, with streaming? Said which was from Vinod.
yeah. So if you're a content owner, then you will earn a percentage of the revenue that your content provides. So if you have a film and it's on our platform and it's pay per view, then you get a percentage of that, which is no different than really any other streaming platform. That's the way they all work. Or there's licensing deals where um, you know we would license it from someone, from the content creator, and obviously sell that through our platform. If on the consumer side, this is the view to earn, where you'll be able to watch content, rate it, and get some right coins. So again, that's just the initial touch point for view to earn, and we're envisaging having a lot more of those throughout the platform. So there's several ways where consumers can earn revenue from that.
So those questions were the ones that had the most votes. Like as I said, I wanted to get straight into the questions to really focus on the community today and not spend 30 minutes just introducing yourself. So we've done a lot of the ones there that were voted on, which is great. And now I'm going to pick a lot of the other ones which I thought were also great questions, particularly this one from Dom 242. What most excites the team every day to get up and work hard for the benefit of the project? I think I've been at Right Team for 7 months. You've been
Forever.
for a few more years. So I'll let you start with what most excites you every day, Damian.
A never-ending inbox full of emails. Look. I think what's exciting is we're from this industry and we see um, what this can do for content creators and consumers. And I always call myself a bit of a creative technologist. I love what technology can do for creativity, and I think that's personally for myself, I think that's very exciting. I think every day we wake up, I think the Web3 is moving very, very, very quickly. We always talk, our development team in Brisbane has a joke. They say we are only ever one Medium article in front of our customer. So, it's moving at a very, very fast pace, which is exciting, and it's enabling us to do more and more, with the platform. So, the technology is there. I guess our only limitation is creativity, and we're hugely creative people, so it's exciting.
Yeah, maybe another thing might be some of the colleagues or people you work with. Is there anyone you want to introduce colleagues with their particular experience that you work with?
Yeah, look, I think I guess I might. We had a bit of a question before about talking about why is Right Stream different than other projects, and you know, I think the biggest thing is the team. Both myself and Riaz have deep domain experience in the film and TV industry. You obviously heard my background earlier, but we have a great team who have been part of the journey with us for several years. We have around 40 people over 10 countries working for the company. We have people from Fox, Nat Geo, Fashion TV, great support from our marketing and partnerships team. So you know, just even if we talk about names, we have in the US we have Eddie, who was very high up in Disney and Fox. So we bring a lot of experience to the platform, and it's exciting to work with these great people.
Well, and a lot of people would have listened to our CEO from many of the AMAs previously, but if you were given a small intro on Riaz, what's his background?
Yeah, so I mean, Riaz's background has been in technology. He started out as a software developer, but always had a flair and a love for the film and TV industry. And I think it was 16 years ago or so. One day, went, well, I'm just going to be a film producer, and he went and created Emmy-nominated TV shows. So it's great working with Riaz, and I think having that experience firsthand on what it's like to actually get a project up and running um, is what's great. That's another big point of difference for us. We've got this firsthand experience of actually doing what we're helping other people do now.
Cool. And Dom, just going to your question too, what excites the team every day? I guess I can answer this question. Obviously, I have to be careful because I've got my bosses listening to this. But I've been at Right Streams for 7 months. It's gone extremely fast. But before that, I've been in IT, and I've seen the corporate world, charities, public, and I'd always wanted to get into crypto professionally. I'd been in crypto as a hobby since 2015, and saw the ETH hack and managed to get my funds back. Um, but I'd always wanted to join a startup, so I was joined a startup and also a crypto project, which is double exciting and crazy, I would say. Um, so that's probably what would get me up, what gets me up every day. The the level of energy, and everyone just there's no bounds on what your role is, and the extent of learning is completely different to any other place I've worked before. Um, so that's my answer. The next question from Simon 91. So in regards to the tokenomics, how will the token price be influenced? Increased streaming and adoption, TVL staking, customer subscription, or payments? So probably touched on these a bit already, but maybe this you've got staking in there, which we haven't discussed before. So what can you tell us for Simon there, Damien?
Yeah, so I can answer the staking part. So we will be making some announcements very soon around how that is going to work, and we've already partnered with a few organizations around that. So stay tuned. That will be released. I believe we're going to release that information over the next week or before TGE.
Oh, Me Tech has asked, is there a date for the first use case? So like we have BAT and people getting paid for browsing the internet. Yeah, that's on the Brave, isn't it? Brave browser.
Yep.
At the same time to donating to content creators. So let me just repeat that. Is there a date for the first use case like we have with BAT and people getting paid for browsing the internet, and at the same time donating to content creators? Not sure I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah.
Apologize. Yeah,
Yeah.
go on.
So the first part, yes. Like, so when the app is released, you will be able to, when you register, you'll immediately get a right wallet, and you'll be straight away being able to start viewing content and earning right coin. So just how Brave, I guess, is doing it. You'll be able to do that immediately. And TGE is on the 24th. We anticipate we'll release the app. Within a fortnight after that. For the, I guess, the part where contributing to projects, we already have some projects in the pipeline that we haven't announced yet, and the launch pad. We're probably a few months away from releasing the launchpad publicly, but we will start to talk about projects over the sort of the coming weeks or month that will be part of that.
Well, and there's been a lot of announcements with partnerships the last few days. Can you give a brief on a couple of those and what they involve as we're getting to the end of a couple of these questions here? Some of them are what you've already answered, so it'd be good for the community to learn a bit more about some of these announcements that have happened and how that affects right stream, I think.
Yeah, so if we're talking about announcements with content partners, so I think some of the ones we've done over the last few days have been around that. And and what that means is that we've signed deals with these large content partners that have great libraries and I guess significant titles, which means those are then brought to our platform. So they're brought to our platform for obviously just people to consume, but those partnerships will also lead into perhaps doing joint production projects in the future, which could be on our launchpad.
Yeah, cool. Some something that's what differentiates this project from the likes of Odyssey, which is Odyssey SEE at the end,
Yep.
odyssey.com. Do you know that project?
Yeah, so Odyssey's, I guess, from what I mean, it's now owned by, I think it's a library, LBRY, the library project, and it's really the next generation of YouTube. So, or it tried to be the next generation of YouTube. So it's mainly around user generated content. What's different is, we are all about blue chip professionally produced content. So we're not doing anything around, the 31 minute, 3 minute home produced video around something. So they're trying to help people monetize that content. Where we're in the professional broadcast television content business.
Oh yeah, that was a question from Parcel. Good question, Parcel. The next one, White Coffee Hack, is a great name for your handle. uh, what made you build this project?
I think it was our vision, and again, I mentioned before about Riaz being part of the film and TV industry, as have I. I've also produced content and found it very hard to get it off the ground and get distribution and make money out of it. It's very hard to make money out of content. Most people in my community produce a lot of content. They work very hard, and they don't make very much money from it. And even when they sell that content, perhaps the distributors or the end platform does quite well out of it, but the original content creator doesn't. And I think this is where NFTs are great. It's because the content owner ends up having a stake of all revenues coming in. So again, I think we've seen it firsthand, and we can see that the technology available today can really solve some of these issues, which is again very exciting.
Another one from SNNGK. If we just check if I understand this question correctly, will we be able to watch movies with the NFT we bought? He said that he doesn't know if this is understood correctly because English is not his first language, but if we break that down, if he buys an NFT, will he be able to watch movies? Maybe he's referring to that as payment for them being able to stream movies then on the platform. If you
Um,
understood that.
yeah, so on the content part of the platform, on our streaming component, it will be like it's like a traditional streaming platform, like Apple TV or Netflix, where you can go in and you'll be able to pay-per-view content, or there'll be ad-supported content. If you earn right tokens from various activities, you'll be able to use those to pay for and consume content as well. I think it's an interesting point around NFTs. So if a project is launched via our launchpad, and it could be that you end up having to stake some of those, or if you buy a certain amount, then you may get a free pass to watch that content in cinemas or the metaverse or whatever. So each of those projects will have, I think, different unique capabilities and functions around it. So, but that's it's obviously a great question, and again, this is great community feedback that we can look to how we might build this into the platform in the future.
And we had a question on when will the project launch? So that is obviously next week, but let's break that down a bit and talk about the launch date, where it's being launched, and what the community can expect.
Um, yeah, so I, if I answer the broader question about when will the project be launched, I'd say about a year ago, because it takes a long time, and there's a lot of pieces to put together to where we are. Um, you know, I sort of mentioned some timelines before around releasing the app a few weeks after TGE, and then the launch pad after that, NFT creation. So I think over the next our goal is to have the bulk of everything we're talking about released and public certainly within the next 3 to 6 months. But a few weeks after TGE, the app will be live, and there'll be plenty of things to be able to do on it.
Yeah, and we've named it one exchange, and one thing that is difficult is we can't announce others until a couple of days
Yeah.
before, so people will hear about different things very close last minute because the exchanges only want the community to know literally 2 days before. So do keep that in mind, everyone. Uh, so you mentioned a year ago it launched. What can you tell us about the history of the white paper? Since people have mentioned that in the past, and and the developments of that. This is
Yeah.
my
So
question.
so yeah. So if we're talking originally, I think it was back in 2017. Um, you know, um, Riaz kind of had this concept, and wrote a white paper around essentially funding content, via tokens, via the blockchain, and back then, I would say there wasn't such a thing as an NFT. It was always spoken about as a non-fungible token, and then I think from there, over the last few years, obviously NFTs become very popular. It became a ubiquitous term that community uses, um, and and then that's when we felt that it was time to reinvigorate, that project, and started on it then. I think back in 2017 there was a lot of concern around ICOs, etc. So it was a time for us to focus on our traditional, I guess, fiat-based business, build that up, which we have, and then now turn our attention back to what we can do in the crypto space.
What level of process did it go through, that white paper? And if you think back to the security question earlier on, in the early stages, what things did you learn
I think if you look at our,
on the
our, our
spot
white
here?
paper from back, I think from 2017, I think the white paper was full of a lot of security detail around what a non-fungible token is, and its place in I guess in the art and content world. So we had to do a lot of explanation around the technology and how it worked, and that was very difficult. It was very hard for people to. I think it's hard for people today to actually grasp generally what an NFT is. So what we learned was um, to talk. We needed to talk about our projects that more people understood. So we needed to talk more about the use cases, how it will work, what the benefits are. Where I guess if you look at the difference between the two white papers, the early one was very, very technically very deep. Where I feel today you don't need to go into so much technical detail because Web3 is becoming quite a standard already.
Good point. I'm just checking the general chat here too, because we got through quite a lot of the questions. One question from M. Zalmani. He says, "Why did you guys decide to do an AMA favorable to the world? Because it's 3:30 in the morning in India right now." Yeah, I'll answer that one. I'm glad that
Yeah,
you got up for it. Thanks very much. I did the poll, and the poll for the majority of the planet was that either an early morning around 8 a.m. or 10 p.m. for people. The poll came in 50-50, so we'll do another AMA next week as well. Maybe you can give a bit of information now, Damian, on the launch pads and the history of those and why you chose Engine Starter.
yes, sure. So Engine Starter was our first launchpad, and we've had a good relationship with Engine, I guess, over the last 12 months. They actually they invested in what we're doing, and they're also part of our advisory. So they really helped us along the journey. Um, it's a great unknown in this world of what we're doing sometimes, and I think you've just got to have great partners by your side to be able to help us navigate that. And Engine have been there, almost since day one, helping us through that process, which has been fantastic. And and obviously the IDO with them was a great success. We've also had V-Launch, Oxbool have been successful IDOs, and I think we have one more coming up with Firestarter. Is that right, Ben? It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Firestarter.
yeah.
So there's one more to go, and we expect that to, I think their whitelist is closed, so that will sell out, and it brings a great community as well. I think that's part of what's great about working with these IDOs is it brings their community to the platform, and gives their community some opportunities to be involved.
Cool. And that's sorry, trying to pronounce this poor guy is up at 3:30 in the morning in India. He's asked the question now, and I definitely gotta read this one out because he's still up. Why free IDO allocation on VLaunch when you provide an allocation on paid launch pads? Don't you think it will affect the price as people start selling as soon as they get an allocation on VLaunch? I'll just start with this, and then you can continue, Damien. But when you
Yep.
look at the number of of tokens one platform has, when you look at the entire circulating supply, it really is quite small. But also, when you go back to the other questions on community growth and so forth, we really wanted to touch very different type of launch pads to really get our project known out there. Um, and that was one of the other reasons. But Damien, maybe you can also elaborate why
Look,
we
look,
free tokens on one and then people have to go and pay on another. Good question.
look. I think with the launch pads, if I'm not wrong, I think we've done five, and they all bring something different. So they've got their own communities, they've got their own ways that they're working with us. They're not all the same because they have different types of communities as well. So um, something we particularly decided to do something for one and not the other. That's just how they worked. And I think with VLaunch in particular, I think we had 5,500 people involved in that. So that brings a community, that brings people to talk about the project, that brings more people to essentially invest in the project as well. And the bigger the community, the more people that have right coin is better for everyone.
Yeah, and we also picked yeah, it was a good mixed bag of launch pads, even Spores, which is a smaller launch pad, and also completely different community, but they've got an excellent community, which I saw the change when we listed with launch spores. Sorry, so we really have gathered a good mix of people to learn about our project. Um, I've got so we've got another live question here. Blast Blasted Carrot is a brilliant name. He's complaining it's 7:30 in the morning there where he is, but he says he's in Australia, but I guess he must be in Sydney or
Sydney?
somewhere else.
Yep. Oh,
I'm in
we're in
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yeah, not as bad as 3:30 in the morning. Or someone's just typing a question, so I'm just trying to wait for him to finish um, typing his question. The guy who's in India at 4 in the morning. But while we're waiting for that, is there anything that you've really wanted to, you know, tell the community, Damien?
Um, look. I think again, it's probably just it's our vision. Where there's the reason why we are doing this is we want to make it better for content creators. As I mentioned, they have a hard time to get their stories heard, to get funded. So I think behind the project, there's also a very big social aspect of what we're doing. And yeah, I think thank you for everyone's support is really the biggest thing out there.
Cool. So we got about 10 minutes left, and just going back to this V launch thing because it's good to have so much interaction. So Joseph is answered that previous question when people worried about people getting free tokens and people discussed, oh, they're just going to sell and dump them and take the money. But Joseph he got some from V launch. I'll just read out his message here. And he doesn't plan to dump on TGE. I want to stake or continue to invest and build wealth. I'm looking for a platform like this, and I want to also look to build passive income streams. So back to the other question here, in crypto, yeah, we're going to have these people that do sell pretty quick, but the majority of people that are taking the time after if they've been in crypto for quite a few years, then they're obviously going to hold in the projects they believe in, and that's the real people that we want to continue with. I don't know if you want to add anything there, but it's just nice to hear somebody in the community say they don't plan to just dump their free tokens.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that, but that's great.
Yeah, cool.
Stick with us.
Yeah, so Placid Carrot again. Just wondering if there would be any meetups for the community to get to know the team in person. Plus, what's the game plan to get the celebrities involved? So, if you DM me, Placid Carrot, the last few years, I don't know what city you're in, but meetups physically or online, but the meetup app, I go to various crypto meetups in Brisbane, and I know there's some in other cities online. I know in Sydney, Bocky Buha, I don't know if you know him, but he's a very smart guy in the Ethereum space. Um, where if you download the Meetup app and then you see all these other crypto groups, and I've met different developers there and so forth. But if somebody's in Brisbane specifically, um, I do go to the All Things Blockchain meetup and DLTX meetups, and yeah, there's quite a few. So yeah, that's my answer there, Damien. I don't know if you want to add anything. The
Yeah, look,
celebrity
and I
aspect.
think
Yeah, yeah, go on. No, go on. Sorry.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
just going to say, I think with the meetups, like we have been very heavily focused on our launch, for both the product and obviously the TGE. But we're now, I guess, at a position where once that's done and behind us, we will be spending a lot more time at various meetups as well. And um, I think we're also going to some overseas. Because we have a good team around the world, like I mentioned, about 10 countries. So, they will start to attend meetups around the world as well, where, people will be able to sort of meet them. For the celebrities, I think, again, because we are in the content business, we do have a lot of relationships, and that's how we are attracting the celebrity talent. So we're actively creating partnerships and talking to quite a lot of people about various celebrities that we can bring to the platform.
Yeah, cool. And just going back to the meetups too, yeah, with conferences and so forth, there's NFT LA, but there's the Bitcoin conference in a couple of weeks, 4th of April, which I am actually going to. I hope still. The flight changes possibly 10 times due to the global situation. Doesn't seem to have changed a lot. I thought it would have been easy. So I thought I was going, and literally yesterday they cancelled the return flight. So don't know if I want to stay in Miami permanently, but I'm seeing if I can return from Miami, and I really do hope to go to that because it is a Bitcoin conference, but one whole day is industry pass, and they've got a very varied um, amount of sponsors there. So I do hope to go to that. So if anyone's in Miami and I can still go there and they don't keep changing my flight, uh, do DM me and I'll see if we can catch up. I think I think we've done a lot of the questions and the chat is quiet now, so I think we that's a wrap. Yeah, we've recorded this, so other people who couldn't get up at 3 in the morning, like our Indian friend, uh, can listen to this again. Um, Thanks a lot, everybody. All your questions. I hope we got through them all. I think we did. Uh, More than most of the other AMAs. So cheers.
Thanks, everyone.